Lord have mercy, Johnson. The more I hear about BLM, the more upset I get. Jesus Christ. Now, look, man, I want to put some human... everyone's talking about BLM and the money, right? But before we talk about the money, I want to say this, Johnson. For all of us regular people, it was not about defending BLM. I don't know those people. I didn't get I didn't get any sponsorships from them. It was about you don't want to pile on some right-wing type thing. For me. But now that I see clearly now that the rain is gone, oh my goodness gracious, Johnson. Woo! Hey man, I've been robbed before, but at least the robber had the courtesy and the respect to bring a gun. BLM done robbed us with a banana, Johnson, in the back. Just give me all your money. Put your hands up, nigga. Is that that don't feel like no gun barrel. That feel like a, is that a banana you got? Just keep your hands up. Black Lives Matter is, woo! How do you sleep at night? Just like this, fool, just like this. Just. We pop champagne bottles. We the street politicians. Look at all of them do the pat of the bell dance at the same time, Johnson. What I'm trying to tell you is that what we have going on here, is the travesty of justice, Johnson. This is disrespectful as hell. Have you seen this, Johnson? Have you seen this? Oh my goodness gracious, Johnson. I know you ain't ready, Johnson. Do you know about this? Oh my goodness gracious. Let me see if I got the right clip. Is this the right one, baby? Oh, maybe it's this one. I got it on several sheets of paper. Here we go. Lord have mercy, Johnson. Oh, Lord have mercy, Johnson. Let's start here. Is it the money raised? Is this the one? Let's see. Here we go. Money raised. Over 1 million recipients, resulting in 1.9 million recipients, resulting in over 1 million actions taken and 82 million fundraising. 90 million. I don't know what this is. I don't know. That's 82,000. They raised $9 million. They had $90 million, and this is all the fundraising and the 6 locations and 24 million visits. So they did a lot of stuff. And this is not the thing. This is not the thing that really got me, that has me most livid, right, is this one, I think it is. Here we go. By the numbers, 90 million raised in 2020. The average donation is $30. And more than 10% of the donations were recurring. This, Johnson, is the one that has me. That is the figure that's about to have me go ham a lamb. Because I was under the impression, just because I did not give money to the BLM, that a lot of other people did not give money to BLM. I was under the impression this was mostly donations formulated or contributed by corporations and other organizations. But what this data is telling me is that there are a number of people who gave to this organization, the BLM Foundation. That's the actual grassroots people out in the streets. If you gave via that website, sort of like Vote Blue, anywho, it go to them. So what this figure is telling me is that there are a number of people who dug into their pockets and gave money to this organization. And just for accuracy, let's be accurate here. More than 10% of donations were recurring. So when you have that many donations, and we saw on the other page, it was like 87,000. I don't know. It was a lot of donations, a lot of individual donations. The thing about this is, and this is something that I had to truly seep into my consciousness and really understand where I'm coming from. As much as I don't want to be a part of any type of Bill O'Reilly, Tucker Carlson type of nonsense, I cannot sit back on this. And it's because I disagree with some people's politics who are criticizing BLM. Right is right and wrong is wrong, Johnson. Anyone can be right in any time of the day. Their motivations may be different. Their political ideology may be different. But at the end of the day, hey, if someone says it's midnight, it's midnight. You don't say it's 9 a.m. just because you don't want to agree with the person that said it was midnight if the time is actually midnight. You get what I'm saying, Johnson? So this is the dilemma that we found ourselves in. There are people pretending it's 9 in the morning because they don't want to be on the wrong side of BLM. That has to be the reason why. They can't be this stupid. They have to know that BLM took money from poor people. And they use they emotionally trigger. They use the emotional triggers of dead black women, dead black men, not just dead, murdered black women, murdered black men in the streets using racism to raise that money. There are people that know this, and instead of saying it, are quiet. Shame on you. Shame on you. No one's paying me to do this. I'm not going to gain anything out of this. I don't need to. We do so much content here. We do that content because we believe in it and it's true. Okay? We believe in it and it's true. And it's true. So that's my only motivation. But now that I see that you have fleeced black folks using black pain, using black suffering, using racism to extract money from the black community, using the currency. This is our currency, y'all. White folks, I need you to understand something. This is currency of our people. The Tim Black Show has a diverse audience. A lot of people watch the show. Okay? We got people of all colors, orientations, races, genders watch this show. That's one of the benefits of this show. One of the differences of this show. And I don't have to shit on any other shows to say that. It is what it is. But I want you others to understand. And when I say that, I mean people that are black but from other countries as well. Okay? I need you to understand that this thing called black pain, this thing called black suffering, this thing called civil rights and social justice in America, Jim Crow, lynchings, all of that, that is our legacy of pain and suffering, Johnson. You don't get to use that as a springboard to your success. You don't get to use that to go buy you a goddamn house or buy you a goddamn car or get you a goddamn sponsorship. What would Native Americans do if there were people using the damn near genocide and extermination of Native Americans in order to enrich themselves and took that money and did other things with it for other groups of people that are not necessarily of that? This is where we find ourselves in Black Lives Matter. I want you to understand. I got nothing at all against trans people or gay people or LGBTQIA people. Black is black in my book. I don't care about all that stuff. You can't find a video on my channel. Once again, this ain't about dogging other people. This is the way I see it. You won't find a video, and I have 5,500 videos on my show, on my channel, just on this channel, as I have other channels. You won't find a single video where I say I have an issue with anybody of any orientation. I don't care about that. Black is black, Johnson. When we start digging back and pulling back the cover on what the Black Lives Matter Global Foundation was really about, you find out that it wasn't about those black parents and those black kids who lost parents. It wasn't about helping those black families as much as it was using their stories, using the stories of Black death, taking that and helping a select group of people that are from their tribes. Not the tribes of the victims. Ladies and gentlemen, what I'm telling you is Samir Rice, the mother of Tamir Rice, who I covered extensively on this show, she should not want for a thing. She's supposed to have a house before you got a house, before you got extra houses. Michael Brown's parents should be good. You raised $90 million and you good, you looking good, you pop champagne. You enjoying the nights, the high life. You can't tell me where all that money went. Then when we start finding out, we found out that money did not go back to those people in any way. You didn't have an initiative where you did outreach to those families. That should be part of your charter. So those people that gave to you because of George Floyd being crucified in the middle of the street, you mean to tell me that you took their money and they knew you were going to take that money and do what it is you want? That didn't have anything to do with actual mass incarceration, actual police brutality? You're going to take that money? Because, see, I've been one of those people defending Black Lives Matter saying, hey, Black Lives Matter it's not about black-on-black violence. They have a very specific charter. That very specific charter is about police violence on black people. Well, folks, when I took a look at what they've been doing, and when you take a look at what they've been doing, that's it. These organizations that you see that they are supporting, very few of them have anything to do with mass incarceration, police brutality. They have absolutely nothing to do with reparations. But hey, that's not in their charter. Reparations is not in their charter. But if you look at this list of the Transgender District, the Black Trans Travel Fund, what's that got to do with black people dying in the streets by the hands of cops? What does that have to do with Colin Kaepernick taking the knee, saying he's doing it for police violence? What does that have to do with what we commonly associate Black Lives Matter with? Black trans films in the arts? What does that have to do with the Marsha P. Johnson Institute? What does that have to do with Tamir Rice getting his brains blown out by that damn cop? Black trans circles. What does that have to do with Breonna Taylor shot in her own home? Trans Housing Coalition, Homeless Black Trans Women Fund. What does that have to do with Laquan McDonald? Shot in the middle of the street in Chicago by that goddamn cop. What does that have to do with that? What does that have to do with Walter Scott shot in the back 6 times by a cop who plants drugs on him? The Black Visions Collective. What does that have to, these names, Johnson, these names, and look, I'm going to be very clear because I don't want nobody misconstruing me, Johnson. And you ain't going to be able to, because if you misconstrued this video, it's because you intended to do that, you scumbags. Let's be very clear, Johnson. I have no problem with those organizations singularly. I think those organizations probably, I don't know anything about them, but those are probably great organizations that do great work, important work, but they have nothing to do with the reason why people gave you money. When people give money to the Red Cross, it's to help those countries in the middle of catastrophe. You give money to the Peace Corps, you give money to whatever organization you give money to. If I give money to cancer research, you ain't supposed to go take the cancer research money and go help people play dominoes to enrich communities. No, because the people that gave the money gave it with a certain intention based on a certain criteria, based on a certain struggle, a certain cause. That's $30 million of it. There's still $60 million unaccounted for. Well, I should say $29 million because they have $9 million that's, well, $20 million because like $9 million of it's for operating costs. It costs $9 million to run that organization. So I want to be very clear one more time. It's not about me having an issue with a trans organization. Why would I have an issue with that? My thing is you took money from grandmas and granddads, pop-pops, from single mamas, single dads, families, working families, as well as other people. And instead of reinvesting that money into police reform, ending mass incarceration, ending qualified immunity, the thing that you're supposed to be using the money for, you took the money and did your own thing with it. There are people that know about this. See, this is the handicap of the Tim Black Show. Here's the problem. We have a definite problem. It's not enough people working with me. See, if I don't have the time to go through and read the articles at the Intelligentsia, to read the articles at the Intercept, to read the articles at whatever entity, okay? If I am not in a certain Twitter thread, then I may hear about it kind of, but not know what's going on kind of. Because I'm one person editing, shooting, promoting, marketing, managing, trying to set up interview. I'm one person by himself, but there are people with people. I don't want you to feel bad for me. I chose this life. If things work out, I will be expanding. But what I'm saying is there are other people who have other people with them. I'm not going to name names because I know people get sensitive. But if you have people with you, you have a staff of people. If you bring all people on your show, and it's 6 of y'all, plus production, plus marketing and logistics, how could you act like you don't know this? How is nobody on this? They know about it, Johnson, and they talk about it because they want to be one of those organizations on that list getting money. They know about it. They don't want to talk about it because they don't want to be like, oh, we don't want to be the ones calling them out because we're going to look like we right wing. So it's all this stupid pressure, this nonsense capitulation to bad acts. Laying in bed with bad actors, misleading the people, and stealing from my community. And I want you once again to understand, because my native black people, my black people born in America who know what time it is in America, you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying when I say they extracted from us, they used our pain to enrich themselves and for their own goals. Get what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying. I want other people to know just because the people that they gave money to may be black or not, I don't even know, Johnson. I don't even know. But Black Lives Matter is about Black lives mattering in police brutality. That's how I always thought it to be. It's not okay to take that money and do other things with it. Whether they be personal or whether they be for other organizations that are friends of yours with ulterior motives or ulterior designs. If you're going to come tell me, well, we have somewhere written somewhere on this website, somewhere with very fine print, we always been about this. Then what you're telling me is, when you went on such and such show and you were vocal about you not heard you fundraise. I don't recall you fundraising using those initiatives as your impetus for people giving money. I never heard you say, hey, look, y'all, Black Lives Matter, we here to raise money for black trans people traveling when they go places, because when they travel, sometimes it's hard to get accommodations. We're raising money for that. So, no, we're not here for Tamir Rice, or we're not trying to raise money for George Floyd. This is for the women. So you should have a separate bucket. So Black Lives Matter did not have a separate bucket. And they used the George Floyd money, the Breonna Taylor money, the Tamir Rice money, the Atatiana Jefferson money, the Amir Locke money. Have they talked about Amir Locke? I don't even know. So busy saving their own ass. Doing cleanup on aisle 16, the PR cleanup on aisle 16. I want you to know. I want the whole world to know. I want everybody knowing. I wish I could make the whole world know. Let's who am I fooling? If you're watching this video, I want you to know that those other organizations who have not reported on this are complicit. Because, see, this ain't an outlier, Johnson. People that are complaining about Black Lives Matter having houses don't give a shit that they could see the numbers and see that that money did not go to. What I just read you came from their website, from the Black Lives Matter website about where the money went, or portions of the money went. So all those articles, even by these great organizations, these great newspapers or whatever, the Intercept, the Intelligentsia, any of them, I don't see the focus being about how black people got screwed. It may be about how this like New York Post man did an article, and the Guardian man did an article about the money not being accounted for, and somebody bought houses, but none of the headlines are, hey, black people screwed by black organization fronting to help black people. What I'm telling you is, they don't care that it didn't help us, that it didn't help black men. As one of my Twitter followers says, Tim, black men are the most killed, shortest life expectancy, highest unemployment, get the least amount of government assistance, and they treat us like the enemy and throw us under the bus, and then they fundraise off of us to fund their own shit. And here's the thing, Johnson, and when Sally or Anna or Bethany or Wilmer, and I'm trying to use white names, and Cody and Dylan and the McMichaels, whoever they are, from middle America dug into their pocket, who felt bad about George Floyd or felt bad about what they saw happen to any number of black children or black men or black women who lost their lives unjustly by police. When they dug into their pockets, they thought they were giving to an organization helping black men and black women who are hurt by cops. They didn't know that when they dug into their pockets, it's just for random black people that Black Lives Matter fuck with. That their friends started organizations because it's a good hustle. Allegedly. So when you want to go to take them to task, other channels, you want to get loud and act like you're calling somebody out, and this is not for, just don't assume who I'm talking to, okay? Don't assume it's about certain people. But those channels, you know what I'm talking about, when they get loud and indignant like they know everything, it's know-it-all assholes. Look, Johnson, you're not saying this because you wanted to be on the list. Shut it down. Shut it down. Whole thing, wipe it off the board. We want it wiped off the board. We want all the money refunded. We want that money reallocated to black organizations, actual grassroots black organizations, helping to fight mass incarceration, police brutality, unqualified immunity. That's what we want. We don't want it for chandeliers. We don't want it for a tour. We don't want to help hire your influencers to do content. We don't want any of that shit. I say we need to start our own media campaign. Let's do it, Johnson. Let's form a media campaign where we all collectively push back on Black Lives Matter and do our own media storm to force them to give up that money, because that money should be going to the initiatives in which in the same spirit for which it was raised. That's what should happen. Folks, if it was a Jewish organization, if it was an organization that put themselves out as they were helping Israel and they were taking that fucking money, Johnson, and they were giving it to somebody's ballet classes or somebody else's making ceramics, the world would stop. Everyone would cover it. As it should. As they should, ethically. You know what I'm going? So this is the same expectation that we should have about Black Lives Matter. You put on your own website that you got small donations. That ain't Nabisco. That ain't the Google donations. And you know what? Someone, I think it was Sam, the Khaleesi, or Mud, or Joe. Somebody from Reset Race said this. That money should have went to those black folks suffering and who have suffered. And the fact it didn't, there should be a price to pay in us, some type of shutting, some type of social consequence for that. And you have a balance according to your books. And when I say this, I'm talking to the Black Lives Matter Global Foundation of the people that operate it today. You know, everyone's not a hustler. That's the other casualty of this, is that everyone's not a hustler. You know? And when you get an organization this big that's raised so much money, and they do this, makes people not want to support, doesn't it? Isn't that what it does? And there are people that stop supporting me because I make a video they don't like. Damn. These people took money, Johnson, that was given for certain issues and used it to do shit that had nothing to do with the issues that it was given for. They took the money and just... And you guys are, those people, of course, the people that, the reactionary people that, they really don't, it is what it is, Johnson. Jesus Christ. You said something about this person, a certain name, and they'll stop giving to the show. They don't know what betrayal is. They consider that a betrayal. Not in my charter to kiss anybody's ass, be friends with anybody, or not say anything about anybody that you happen to like. That's not in the charter. That's not the agreement, Johnson. But the agreement should definitely be that if you found an organization that you promote, that you hold rallies, you show up and interrupt politicians on a stump. And all right, guys, that's it. I'm Real Tim Black on Facebook and Twitter. You know where to find me.